Ja, hallo, ich bin der Christian aus Dresden. Ich finde den Podcast hier sehr gelungen. Hier werden interessante Sachen rund um die Sprache erläutert, wo man auch noch was lernen kann und auch unterhaltsame Interviews geführt, was mir doch sehr, sehr gut gefällt. Ich werde auf jeden Fall noch dabei bleiben, weil man lernt ja schließlich nie aus. Also dann weiter so.
Das war ein bisschen Rückmeldung von drüben in Dresden. Christian, ich habe die Absicht, weiterzumachen. Und genau diese Art von Feedback macht es für mich und hoffentlich auch für andere erfüllend. Es hilft mir, eine bessere Vorstellung davon zu bekommen, was genau für meine Zuhörer funktioniert. Nochmals, vielen Dank. Heute in dieser Trailer-Episode 17 teile ich sozusagen die Bühne mit einigen meiner Zuhörer. Ich werde ein paar Audio-Feedbacks, die Sie mit mir über die erste Staffel geteilt haben, mit euch teilen. Okay, that was my German for you. Now, that was actually a bit of feedback from all the way over there in Dresden. Christian, I have to do this in English, so I just want to say I do intend to continue. And this is exactly the kind of feedback that makes it all fulfilling for me, and hopefully for others too. It helps me to get an even better idea of what works for my listeners. Thanks again. In today's trailer episode 17, I share the stage, so to speak, with some of my listeners, sharing some of the feedback that I received on season 1 from them with you.
Herzlich willkommen zum English Coach Podcast, präsentiert von trainingtree.de, die personalisierte Lösung im Bereich Erwachsenenbildung. Und jetzt dein Gastgeber, iAntonio Patterson.
So then, without further ado, welcome to another episode of the English Coach Podcast, where I attempt to add a splash of color and life to your learning experience by inviting you to live the language. Now, as you might know by now, this is where I also give myself permission to take a little more relaxed, accessible, human approach. I want you to take the same approach and give meaning to the things you think by sharing it. I know for a fact that there are some opinions out there, positive and negative. Come on now, don't be shy. Now let's be clear about one thing going forward. Even though I've managed to complete season 1, I am still not any kind of professional podcaster here. This is why I need your feedback. I'm only now just learning the ropes. The podcast is still independent, unpretentious, free work. So I'm really not that sensitive. So just bring it on. All comments on the show are welcome, as long as they're basically constructive.
Hi Ian, nice to hear from you. This is Christoph from Kassel. What I like about your podcast, and don't get me wrong here, I use it as bedtime stories because I've gotten used to turning on some podcast or audiobook or something when I go to bed because it helps me fall asleep. And your podcast is perfect for this because firstly I like your voice. It's very gentle and kind and yeah, very good for this purpose. And then I hope that I somehow learn some English while I sleep or fall asleep. I'll see if it works out. I'm not sure yet. But yes, I like it and I listen to it, and I'd be glad to hear from you again. Bye-bye.
Now, on this episode 17, which is still a trailer episode in preparation for season 2, my job here today is to just share a little feedback with you, some of the things that other listeners have to say, and probably also discuss a little bit on how I plan to work with that feedback. I appreciate what Christian said. I think it was well-balanced feedback that tells me that I'm doing something right. Now, I met Christian quite a long time ago. I think it was probably about 16 years ago to be exact, when I was studying at Viadrina in lovely Frankfurt Oder. It's only now that we recently hooked up again on Facebook, and I kind of attacked him with my podcast offering and just said, you have to listen to this. This is the latest thing that I'm doing these days, and I need your feedback. I also asked him to give me his feedback via MP3, and he just did it, and it was fantastic. Thanks again, man. Now, from the feedback that I got, he also confirmed some things that I still hold true, such as the fact that learning never ends, and that although sometimes we love to hate Facebook the most, it's actually not such a bad tool for reaching out and sharing something good and, just staying connected. Christoph's feedback, on the other hand, was funnily flattering in unexpected ways. I'm sure you heard it for yourself. He is a past course participant, and no, he did not fall asleep in class all the time. On the contrary, he was one of the more engaged learners who did very well. His feedback also confirms that I'm doing something right. I shall not change my microphone or my recording or editing techniques. Instead, I will try to be a little more aware of the effect that my voice has on some of my listeners. That can be seen in a negative or a positive way. If my voice induces a kind of relaxed state that causes learning to happen, that's exactly what I want, though. The ideal learning state, as it's described, and as we've all heard of, is not only the child state, but also a relaxed state. So if it works for you, Christoph, all power to you, and hopefully it works the same way for other people as well. Thank you for your honesty, Christoph, from all the way over there in Kassel. As I said, I will try to be a little more aware of this effect and try to modulate my voice accordingly.
Hi, Ian. I wanted to send you my thoughts about your work. And to be honest, I really like your work, especially that we could download and use your content anytime, anywhere. For example, while we are gardening, cooking, commuting, or even when you are at lunch by yourself, of course. The interviews are quite real and really diverse, and you let us experience humanity while learning the language. So basically, it's a very good approach. It's new and it's current and it's very interesting. So we are looking forward to the next season. Bye.
Now, season 2 of the English Coach podcast is now in production, and it's scheduled for release in May of 2020. As a listener, this is all about you, no joke about it. And if all of this means anything to you and you do find the time, feel free to help to shape the format and content for season 2. Take all of March and April to gather your thoughts, note them down for me, and check out the feedback options available to you at feedback.englishcoachpodcast.com. Looking forward to hearing from you too. Now, Myra shared her feedback with us from all the way over there in Manila, capital of the beautiful Philippines. Myra appears to have honored my claim of offering a certain humanness in this personal approach to podcasting and to the adult learning experience, and in so doing called an even larger calling to action, one that speaks to humanity. This fresh and exciting democratization of the learning experience, of which I speak from the very first episode 1 and episode 10 and episode 11 and in numerous articles that I've written, is definitely an approach that touches on the higher values of humanity. It touches on notions of equality through equal access to knowledge and the sharing of knowledge. Thank you, Myra, for recognizing and also in a way validating a larger purpose. Myra is an esteemed graduate of European and African Studies with an international career under her belt and her feet firmly placed on the ground. This feedback from her definitely means a lot. I only hope that more people can also recognize the practical benefits of this approach to learning with independent media that also keeps them independent to do other things at the same time, like gardening, cooking at home, or while commuting or having lunch all alone at work. Today's trailer, episode 17, mostly features audio feedback that was sent in leading up to the launch of season 2. There was, however, some written feedback that I got from one Karina in Berlin that ties in directly to what Myra said about the freedom to multitask while using the content. So I'll make quick mention. Karina said that she listens, and I quote, after dinner or after the baby has gone to bed, or while playing a game that doesn't need any brain power. That's convenience and adaptability for you. In addition to saying that, I suppose after listening to the very popular episode 14, she said that she didn't recognize that it could in fact be actually against company policy to use online translators due to privacy issues. So I'd invite you to give a listen to episode 14 as well. Karina says that school English alone is not suitable for real life and that she's not the only one who feels that way. So again, while the English Coach podcast never pretends to be any kind of perfect substitute for your preferred or prescribed learning experience, it plays very well as a viable supplement to your whole learning experience. One that you can easily integrate into your everyday life and listen whenever you want.
Hi everybody, I'm Doreen from Berlin. I like Ian's podcast because he has a clear pronunciation. I like that he can convey the grammar in an interesting way through the dialogues. And most important for me is that his podcast takes my fear away from speaking English. Bye.
Now, Doreen is a young mother of a lovely son and she's employed in industry. She's also a past course participant of mine. Now, I love to talk about the fact that I'm really doing this for my people. Reason being, I've already tried to be everything for everybody and failed by my own standards. Doreen's feedback clearly tells me that I should keep on doing what it is that I'm doing exactly the way that I'm doing it. Well, maybe with a few improvements. Thank you, Doreen. As I've said on previous occasions, I can't say for sure how long this initiative will continue. A lot of it depends on the feedback that I get from you. At any rate, this whole initiative, all of season 1, together with everything planned for the upcoming season 2, has never been about someone else's notion of perfection, but about progress, practicality, for normal people with normal names and normal faces. Tools and tips that work. And it's comforting to know that Doreen, for one, has identified this podcast offering as something that can help her to improve going forward. With a small win is always a good way to begin. Okay then, we've come to the end of episode 17 of the English Coach podcast. Feel free to check out the show notes of this episode at www.trainingtree.de/podcast podcast. Like it if you like it, and if you don't, lie to me. But still, feel free to share it with a friend, post a rating, or better yet, give meaning to your sentiment by using the feedback form to tell me personally what you think. This will help it to help you as it is intended to do. Subscribe only if you feel like, so you know when there's a new episode available. Thanks for listening. Looking forward to hearing from you, and bye for now.